In the shadow of World War II, England faced a daunting labor crisis. Fields lay fallow, factories slowed, and the workforce was scarce. To fill this gap, England opened its doors to workers from its colonies. And soon, young men from Punjab seized the chance to transform their lives. The dreams of a new world, with prospects and possibilities, were irresistible. Throngs of Indian youth, eager for change, began journeying to Britain, their eyes set on greener pastures. However, this migration momentum faced a harsh halt with the Commonwealth Immigration Act of 1962, closing the door to many aspirants. Though entry became harder, the vision of a better life in England remained undeterred for those left behind. In present-day London, a weary, elderly Manu Randhawa, played by Tapsi Pannu, slips out of her hospital room with a single aim: to return home to India. She approaches Puru Patel, Devon Bojani, a seasoned immigration lawyer, pleading for an Indian visa. But Puru explains that the Indian government has denied her visa due to unresolved matters from her past. Realizing she needs help from someone with deeper ties, she turns to an old lover, Hardayal Hardy Singh Dillon, Shah Rukh Khan, who had once vowed to stand by her. Hardy, now living in Laltu, Punjab, is stunned yet thrilled to hear from Manu after 25 years. She asks him to meet her in Dubai, hoping he can help her take the unconventional Dunki route back to India. The narrative then rewinds to 1995 in Laltu, a quaint Punjabi village. Manu and her childhood friends, Balinder Bugu Lakanpal, Vikram Kochar, and Bali, Anil Grover, live humble lives, driven by dreams of making it to England. Manu, struggling with financial woes after her family's home was mortgaged, works as a cook at a roadside dhaba. Bugu's mother, a factory guard, and Bali's mother, a tailor, toil relentlessly to make ends meet. The friends pool their meager resources, exploring any means to get to London, even if it means paying hefty sums to shady visa agents. Manu is advised to train as a wrestler, a skill that could earn her a spot on the Indian wrestling team and perhaps a sports visa. Just then, Hardy, a retired army officer, arrives in Laltu. He carries with him the personal belongings of Manu's late brother, Mahinder, who had once saved his life by carrying him to safety after a terrorist attack. Deeply moved by Mahinder's sacrifice, Hardy is shocked to find Manu struggling in poverty. Determined to honor Mahinder's memory, he pledges to help her reach London. Hardy becomes her wrestling coach, training her with hopes that this might secure her a visa. But when Manu returns to the agent, she discovers he was a fraud who vanished after scamming Bali and Bagu out of their savings. Other visa schemes fail, including Bagu's attempt to impersonate a doctor and Bali's arranged marriage to a woman who turns out to be a ploy used by many agents to cheat men like him. Desperate but resilient, Hardy encourages them to pursue the IELTS test, believing a student visa could be their best bet. Enrolling in an IELTS prep course led by the eccentric Gitu Gulati, Boman Irani. The trio meets Suki, Vicky Kaushal, who dreams of going to London to rescue his ex-girlfriend Jassi from an abusive marriage. When Gitu mocks Hardy, Manu defends him passionately, comparing him to a true teacher who patiently helps his students succeed. This act of loyalty draws Hardy closer to Manu. Despite his teaching, only Bali clears the IELTS test and is granted a student visa to the UK. Once in London, Bali sends back photos posing with fancy cars and homes, creating an illusion of success. But Suki's spirit is crushed when he learns Jassi took her life, a tragedy that leads him to a tragic self-immolation. His death profoundly impacts Hardy, who makes a solemn promise to help Manu and Bugu reach London. They embark on the grueling Dunki route, the dangerous illegal passage through Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and Turkey. Along the way, they witness unimaginable horrors. Several of their companions are shot by Iranian forces, and Manu narrowly escapes an assault. After a harrowing 27-day voyage in a cramped shipping container, they finally set foot on British soil, hoping for a brighter future. In London, they reunite with Bali, only to find him scraping by as a living statue, a performer on the streets, far removed from the wealth he had flaunted. Their dreams are shattered as they settle into crowded, dilapidated living quarters with other undocumented immigrants, working menial jobs by day and sleeping in bunk beds at night. The weight of disappointment hangs heavy, yet they hold on, determined to make the best of their hard-won new life. Seeking a faster path to citizenship, they consult Puru, who advises Manu to marry a British citizen in a sham wedding. Although hesitant, she agrees. But Hardy's simmering jealousy leads to a scuffle with her supposed fiancé, resulting in their arrests. In court, Puru proposes they seek asylum on the grounds that their lives are at risk if they return to India. While Bugu and Bali reluctantly agree, Hardy's patriotism compels him to refuse. He makes a powerful plea, claiming that economic hardship should not be a basis for asylum. Unmoved, the judge allows the others to stay, but Hardy is deported to India. Back in the present, Manu tearfully explains to Hardy that her cancer is terminal and her dying wish is to return home. Her asylum application from years ago, however, stands in the way. Determined to fulfill her last wish, they scheme to reach India illegally, attempting to pass as deceased migrants, whose documents still list them as Indian nationals. After a series of close calls, they manage to convince Saudi authorities to deport them to India. Bypassing bureaucratic barriers, Manu's dream of homecoming is finally realized. In Laltu, Manu's fragile body can't take the strain any longer. Moments after Hardy proposes to her, she succumbs to her illness, leaving him grief-stricken. Overcome by sorrow, he gently places an engagement ring in her hand. Watching the Diwali fireworks light up the sky in a poignant celebration of life and love. An epilogue reminds viewers that migration, once free and unrestricted, has become an arduous journey, often bound by politics and hardship, with a legacy of sacrifice woven into each traveler's story.